Now, first things first. Earlier this year, in about on January the 5th, this was in January 5th in Singapore. I was speaking to 8,000 people at that time. This was in Sentosa. And this was in January 11, Kuala Lumpur at MyTech. And this was on January the 12th. In total, out at in front of 32,000 people, we talked about the possibility of a challenging year in 2020. And back then, I talked about three things that we all must prepare, must do in order to make sure that we thrive in 2020 and beyond. For those of you who were there at that event, how many of you were there at that event? MyTech or Singapore, if you were there, go ahead and type a yes in the comment section here. Now, I can see all your comments that are coming here. I could see it here in Facebook here. So if you are been to that comment, you've been to that event before, go ahead and type a yes here so I know if you guys are coming back for a second round here. This is what I said in the event, and hopefully you guys have taken note of that. But if not, it's not too late. Number one, have 6 months worth of cash reserves. That was discussed since last year and early this year prior to these challenging times ahead. And we talked about clearing all debt or as much debt as possible before the turn of the year. And of course, creating a network before we need it. Okay, so this is very important that we think through these three things prior to the year. Now, obviously, when we enter into about March, especially March 18 here in Malaysia, we entered into the MCO period, and that's when globally a lot of people are shaken because we are in a little bit of a I think a little bit of a crisis is an understatement. So people are a little bit more afraid what to do. But hey, if you have done this during this time, it will be good. But the question is, what if we have not prepared, right? What if we're not prepared? We don't have this in hand, and we haven't cleared up any of our debts, and oh my God, we don't have any networks prepared. So what should we do? Well, then let's talk about what else we could do, right? We can talk about 2020 in these two perspectives. The first thing is, well, we all know that as COVID-19 and everyone's thinking, hey, is there going to be an ending to this? Well, you can look towards next year if they were talking about towards an ending of this. However, the more pressing issue that people are facing right now is the financial crisis. As you already know, the time we are talking about this right now, we are already going through a financial crisis, and this whole thing, if we look at the astrological aspect of it, it probably will only end about 2021. Well, that's our perspective. But then again, that doesn't mean we cannot do anything about it, because always in times of crisis, there are also opportunities, okay? In times of crisis, there are also opportunities, but the opportunities are for those who are prepared. For most people, when they talk about the opportunities, if they're not prepared for it, it's not, then they can just look at it, but nothing's going to happen, okay? So the majority of the situation here is really that we need to know what are the options available, what are the steps available that we could actually take. Now, feng shui or astrology is not the be all and end all to all our problems. Okay, it can help us, but we also have to have the initiative to want to improve, who want to make this change, and this is extremely important. Now, you know what they say, right? They're always talking about, hey, it takes money to make money. Now, in this situation now, we don't have any money. So how to have no money, how to make money? Listen, it's not always money make money, although that is one of the perspective. But if you look carefully, people who do succeed, they succeed because they are courageous. It takes courage to make money. It takes courage to get out of this situation. It takes courage to thrive. So at this situation right now, a lot of times people are talking about what are the strategies? What are the strategies to get out of this situation, right? Listen, right now, we're not going to talk about strategies, because strategy is always about the long term. Right now, in the middle of a pandemic, in a situation where everyone's talking about a crisis, we don't have this like 5-year plan. We got to think about how to survive first, right? If you survive this, already it is a win. So the first step is get to survival stage. And of course, if you're at the survival stage, then we can talk about the thriving stage. You want to look at this like we are, let's say now, most of us have watched the movie Titanic, right? How many of you seen the movie Titanic? You know about Titanic? Go ahead and type a yes here in the comment section if you have seen the Titanic. It's a 1998 James Cameron movie. If you've heard of that, Titanic, go ahead and type on the comment section so I know you guys are from that era. So if you have watched the Titanic before, great, all right. If you watched the Titanic before, you realize that that trip, right? On that trip, the passengers were going from London to New York, right? They were traveling from London to New York. Now, along the way, we know what happened. Along the way, the Titanic hit an iceberg, and suddenly, of course, the entire Titanic, the unsinkable ship, is now sinking. Now, let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen, all of you guys are here listening right now. Think about this, right? At that very moment, there are thousands of passengers. Are there any of these passengers that you are thinking right now, any of them are still thinking of what they are going to eat when they arrive in New York? Any of them? Tell me. What do you think? Are any of them still thinking about, arriving in New York, having a Michelin 3-star restaurant? None of the passengers at that time, when the boat is sinking, is going to think about the long term. Each and every single one of them is going to think about what are they going to do to survive. Okay? So they're not going to think about strategies. They're going to think about tactics. How do you swim? How do you get to the lifeboat? And how do you get to a float? Okay? At that time, it's all about tactics. Now, it's a little bit like right now, this whole crisis suddenly happened to the whole world. And so people are in this panic, right? There's no time to talk about what's the strategy for wealth, what's the strategy to build a business, what's the strategy for long-term investment and stuff like that. The first thing is, let's talk about tactics to survive. Let's get out of this situation first, and then we can talk about what meals we want to eat when we arrive at the destination. So right now, the thing to do is tactical. It's not about strategic right now, okay? So it's the same thing when you're in an emergency room. When you're in an emergency room, we are talking about, the doctors helping you out. They're going to have all these things plugged to the, all the machinery in the room, and the doctors are trying to check whether your heart is still pumping, whether this guy is still alive or not, correct? At that time, all these machines and all these computers and all this stuff in the operating room is not going to check whether or not your diet plans are correct. They're not going to check whether your cholesterol level is right or not because you have eaten a certain type of food. Those things are for long term. It's for the strategic long term. But at this point in time, in the emergency room, people are talking. The doctors want to know whether this guy on the operating theater is going to survive or not. That's all tactical. It requires tactics. So the thing right now is that when we are talking about the 2020 crisis, we want to know what tactics that we could immediately deploy to help us get from struggling to survive, and from survive, then if you're at the comfortable level, okay, with your companies or with the career that you have right now, then we can talk about, okay, let's talk about thriving in the long run, okay? Because right now, we are in almost near to June, and we're half year across 2020, but this whole thing, the second part here, this hasn't really set in like full on right now, right? This part seems to be coming, and it's going to last all the way to 2021. So we need to know what we can do now so that we can move on longer in the future. Okay, so if you're interested in talking about this, you're interested in hearing some points, then you are in the right place, because this talk here, very special for Gamudaland. It's about helping you get from a stage of struggle to survival, and survival hopefully to thriving. Okay, so you guys with me so far here? Go ahead and type a me here if you are enjoying yourself, you are listening, you're understanding so far. Okay, type a me here so I know you guys are here. Okay, guys, move the comment a little bit so I can see the comment on the screen. Okay, so now the 2020 is a year of big change. Okay, no, I mean move it down, guys, move it down so I can see the latest comment. Okay, year 2020, year of big change. Okay, so here it is. What happens when change comes in? Okay, change means something new come into your life, or something new come out of your life. That's how change is. Right now, this pandemic thing, is there something new coming to your life, and you want to change as well? You can also do something new come out of your life. Anytime something new happens, that is a change. The thing is this: when something new came in, like this pandemic and all this MCO and all this stuff that is happening, suddenly change came, new thing came in, but we didn't change, and because we didn't change, so we're stuck. We feel that, when will we have this question? When will it go back to normal? Let me tell you this. Are you ready? It's not going to go back to normal. This is the new normal. So it's not going to go back to, oh, everyone's going to go to the cinemas, going to enjoy themselves, going to bring the kids out. It's going to be different, okay? The way we interact with each other is going to be different. The way we do business is different. The way we're going to invest is also going to be different. The way we connect with one another is going to be different. Okay, so because it's going to be different, then we have to do something new as well. Okay, so if we are not going to do something new, that means we are resisting change. And when we are resisting change, there will be pain, frustration, and problems. Okay, the reason why a lot of people, we're in the business of consulting. We talk to a lot of people from small-time business owners to big-time business owners. And sometimes the smaller business owners, some of them, not all of them, some of them are feeling a lot of problems, a lot of pain. It is because they don't know what to do. They can't change from where they are, okay? And a lot of people who are working in a certain job, they are now fearful whether they're going to get to keep the job because now they reduce their work days from 5 days to 4 days. They're reducing their pay. They don't know how long this will last. Now, if you're going to wait there for stuff to happen to you, this situation will probably get worse. So we need to know what we can do to move ourselves, propel ourselves upwards and become better. So when we talk about metaphysics, feng shui, astrology, all this is just a tool for us to help us change, to do something new, to get out from struggling to survive. It is not for you to go and decorate your house, put trinkets here, put crystals here and there. That is all rubbish, okay? What we want to do is help us change our lives. And the tool we use is metaphysics. When I say metaphysics, that means feng shui and astrology, but we're going to use some of it. We're not going to use all of it. We're not going to plan and fix our house for 20 years. We're going to make sure the next 6 months is going to be great. Okay, when the next 6 months is good, then at least the rest of 2020, you get to a survival stage, and then you can actually talk about thriving in 2021. Okay, that's what we want to talk about. Okay, so now, before we begin, you need to go and get your Bazi chart first, because with the chart, you're able to look at your own astrology. You're also going to look at some of your elements to go and see what would be favorable for you to do. Okay, remember, look at tactics here. So this will be one of the things that you could look at. You can just screen capture this or scan this. If you're watching this from your phone, obviously you can't scan it, but you can screen capture this and plot the chart later. Okay, so do that right now. And once you have your charts, we can then continue. If you don't have your charts, you can just listen to me right now, and later on we can you can always plot this later after the talk. Okay, so this is your chart. They will look like this when you print out later, and later on when we need to use it, we can refer to it as we are going through this talk. That helps us personalize the whole discussion to you. Listen, we are not predicting your future. We're going to create it together. This is important. People think, oh, is my chart good? Not this year. Good or bad depends on what you do. Okay, if you lie down there and do nothing, it's not going to be good either, right? So you got to do something to get good. Remember, even if feng shui or any form of metaphysics can 10x, can 10 times your performance, 10 times 0 equals 0, okay? So it needs to add on to something great. So if you are that great person, if you are someone that is a performer, if you are someone that is able to have the right skills and have the right attitude, then using feng shui can greatly multiply you. Okay, but let's say you are like, oh, lazy and like half dead all the time, very scared of pandemic, very scared of what to do, always, you're pessimistic, then 10 times your pessimism, you get worse. Okay, so feng shui can also make it worse if you are not a positive and optimistic person. So first, you need to make sure you are a positive and optimistic person first, because you cannot boost something when something is bad in the first place. Okay, so you have to understand this very important formula. 10 times 0 equals 0. Okay, so this is very, very important. If 10 times negative number, you get it worse. Okay, so you got to fix you first, right? That's why it's important to understand how do we use this metaphysics here. Okay, so now let's talk about what you should do to avert the crisis. This is quite important because if you are in the crisis, if you are in that drowning stage, it's going to be very hard for us to talk about how to invest, how to make more money, because right now it's based, a lot of people are struggling. Okay, now so let's just check out right here and right now, right? We have so many people listening right now. How many of you are in the let's put it like this: 1 is struggling, 2 is surviving, 3 is thriving. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so 3, you're doing really well, business is great, making lots of money. 2 is okay lah. All right, you're surviving. 1 is okay, you're struggling a little bit. Let's just say this type right here, number 1, 2, or 3. Let's just see where you guys are, and then we can see whether we can do something to help us get out of that stage, because the idea here is to get from one stage to the other, okay? Because the strategies are different, the tactics are different. So let me know whether you are 1, 2, or 3. 3 is thriving, 1 is struggling, 2 is surviving, okay? Go ahead and type here, all right? So some of you are number 1, that's great. Those who are doing number 1, you're thriving. This is the time for thrivers, okay? This is the time for thrivers. Thrivers should invest now. Okay, if you're struggling, don't invest. This is the thing, right? Because first you must get out. You're still going to talk about spending money and do investing, right? First you must save yourself. All right. So let's see how many here are at the thriving stage, or you're at the number 2. You're pretty okay. Number 3, you're struggling a little bit, because the tactics are different for different people. Okay. So go ahead and type on the comment section right now, and let's see how you guys are doing. All right, cool. Carrie Leong is number 2, and Derek is number 2. That's nice. Wen Xiang is number 2, and we have Norman Crust. Oh, hi Norman, you're number 1, thriving, cool. Ving Han is number 1, nice. Okay, great. Cool. So if you are Daniel, Daniel's number 3. Okay, cool. We're gonna get you to number 2, right? So if you're number 3, the tactics are different. So I'm gonna talk about those who are in the biggest category here. Okay, those and the steps are different for different people. Just remember that. Okay, those who are struggling cannot be talking about investing, because you all right, struggle, right? Got extra money, so save yourself first, correct? So we are talking about different strategies, how to get to survival. Survive, okay, now we are quite surviving. We're gonna move to a comfortable stage with extra. Then we can talk about investing and growing the wealth, okay? So there are different steps for different folks, all right? So it's very important that you guys know where you are right now, okay? Now, first things first, what do you do? What should we do? All right, here's what we must do. Step number 1. We first of all cannot panic. Okay, listen to this. They say, yeah, of course, we really know not panic. Why we go panic? Now, I'm talking about desperation. If you were to make important decisions, especially when you're talking about investment decisions, you cannot make them out of desperation. You also cannot make important life decisions or business decisions when you are in a desperate mode. So the most important step is to make sure that you're not in a panic mode. It's like, oh, I don't know whether it's going to keep this job on. I got these issues happening, so many things happening. If you have that, you got to stop that first. Okay. Now we'll have some strategies later on, some tactics for you to get out of that, but this is what you need to do to make sure that you'll be all right. Okay. So number 2, you got to focus on growth. All right. Those who are number 3, those who are number 1 early on, who is basically at the stage where they are, struggling a little bit, you got to understand, you got to stop panicking. For those of you who are able to, on a survival moving to thrive, then you got to focus on growth. What do you mean by focus on growth? It's like this. In this time, a lot of time where there are people who are contracting. Okay, there are people who are contracting because, hey, they're pulling out their funds. They are not advertising anymore. They're not hiring anymore because they're scared of the upcoming future. Okay, so these people are contracting. Don't forget, at this time when everyone else, including your competitors, are contracting, it might be wise, if you know what you're doing, to expand. Because expanding now in a strategic way, of course, you would be able to move far ahead of your competitors. So focus on areas of growth. Okay. Now, of course, easy for you to say, but you tell me where it's growing now. Listen, I tell you also, maybe you won't do one, Okay. For example, tech is the one big thing here. Would you do or not? It's not always something people will do, because people don't do because they don't know how to do it. So the steps to it is to learn how. And there's a feng shui technique for you to enhance your learning ability so that you can learn. Everything that you want right now and you want to get, the distance is education and learning. Okay, not the conventional go to school type, but at least there's an education and knowledge gap. So you can use feng shui astrology for the learning to shorten the learning time so that you're able to acquire the said skills in order for you to get to the point that you want. Nothing will just fall on your lap for free, especially in this time. And these are the times that will wipe out all the people who are weak. Unfortunately, that's the case, all right? Because this is, this is not just a market correction. This is like a global Mother Nature's correction. The strong will survive and the weak will get wiped out. So the choice is yours to make yourself stronger, okay? And it's possible. It's not even that hard. You have grown so far. You have made a lot of improvements yourself. All you need to do is have a bit of courage to move forward, okay? And by using some of these feng shui techniques I'm going to show you is to gain that courage to move forward, all right? This is important, yeah? So now, the next step is this. Follow the flow of money, Okay, this is very, very important. Where is the flow of money? This is for those who are in the thriving stage. This is not for those who are in the struggling stage. If you are struggling, you don't follow flow of anything. You fix, you save yourself first, yeah? You follow money, you will die because you are incapable of taking on new opportunities. So the step is very, very, very important, okay? So following the flow of money means this. Even in times of economic crisis and financial crisis or pandemic, there's always, people still need to stay in a place. People still need roof over their head. People still need to eat. People still need to educate themselves. There are still things that people need to do. There are a lot of times people keep saying, hey, nowadays people don't spend money anymore. People don't spend that because everyone is afraid of financial crisis. That's not true. There are still entrepreneurs, myself, a lot of other entrepreneurs out there who are like, for example, after a hard day's work, we still want to, buy things for our kids. I just bought 2 iPads for my kids, for example, because they need to start education, study from home. So we will still be using money for certain things. There will be people out there who are still spending. The question is, are you looking at the entrepreneur circle, the business owner circle who are expanding? So if our mindset, for example, are already fixed that people are not spending, then we are on the sinking side. Okay, so there are still people out there, the flow of money, right? For example, we would like to, if we want some peace and quiet time, we will want an education online for our kids to study, for example. So there are still avenues there. And for health purposes, for healthcare, for example, online education, people who are teaching new skills, there's still a lot out there. The question is, are we able to see the flow of money, and are we able to go towards that direction rather than saying, what can I do? What can I do? I don't want to learn anything, but just whatever I can do. Whatever you can do. A lot of times, if you are in the lowest category, in the struggling stage, already a lot of the skill set already wiped out. That's the problem. Already wiped out. So unless you're going to learn something new, and that you won't be able to get to that level. So we're going to talk about some type of feng shui that enable you to move to that level. Okay. So now the fourth thing here you need to have is resilience. This is so important because just because you get into the flow of money doesn't mean that you're going to get the money straight away. It still takes time. It still takes a period of time for you to stay resilient, for you to actually reach to a point where you're able to turn the opportunities or turn the flow of money into cash. It takes a little bit of time because this whole ride is going to be now until the end of 2021. Okay, the end. So if you're going to wait, by the way, you probably won't survive the end 2021. You got to be able to do something so that you could ride it and thrive until 2021 and beyond. Okay, so the last thing is, now if you get through all 4, then we can talk about new opportunities. The problem is when people are here, they want to talk about this. Not possible, okay? If you are here at this stage, is struggling, these opportunities only you can see, maybe, but you cannot do. It will overwhelm you. For example, people in tech right now, Zoom and all these online communications, there are opportunities right there. But are you able to do it? Unless you're tech savvy, unless you know what's going on, it's not so easy for you to transit. So for example, myself, we've been doing a lot of online live streaming events, right? But I've been doing this for a long time. So for me to transit to this is not that difficult. But for those who are starting out, there's a learning curve they need to go through, okay? But that's the thing. If they've gone through that, they can still take the opportunity because it's still there, okay? So this is the 5 things you need to remember, that it's following this flow, okay? We cannot talk about new opportunities until you've gone through these other 4 stages, okay? So here's the thing. So what is your ideal outcome? What is your ideal outcome in 2020? Let's just think about it. I'm going to give you this question here. You can answer me on the comment section just to see at which point you want to choose your outcome for the rest of the year. Do you want to be healthy with money? I know this is an easy question. Healthy with money or sick and no money? This is A. A is healthy with money and B is sick and no money. You choose. You tell me this path. Let's say you make a conscious choice here. Let's make a conscious choice, A or B. Okay, go ahead and type A or B on the comment section right now. Okay, A is healthy with money and B is sick and no money. Which is your choice? Ideally, if it's everything easy and everything can do it, which one would you rather be? Okay, A, healthy with money. B is sick with no money. Let's see. Okay, and we're not going to talk about predicting this. We're going to create this. Which one would it be? Go ahead and type the answer here. A. All right. Richard Zhang is A. Irene A. All right. Inez is A. Cool. All right. Adeline Chan is A. That's nice. All right. Cool. So, Chong Yi Mei is A. All right. So of course you would choose A, right? I don't know which idiot will choose sick with no money. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me ask you this. So many times, all of us by default want to choose healthy with money. But are we doing anything during this MCO and CMCO and during this period of time? Any of our actions and even our thoughts, even our behaviors, are any of this leading towards this? Most of the time, it is a no. Okay, not all of them, but a lot of C players or possibly not very motivated people that are at this. They think they want this, but their actions does this. Okay, you just look at how many people still go to the bars the moment MCO is lifted, right? You already see they are going to go for this. So their actions don't push themselves towards the correct direction. They say they want this, but they don't do this. Okay, so here's the thing. The COVID-19 and financial crisis for 2020, the circumstances the same for everybody in the world, probably worse in the States and Brazil right now. But the experience, how you experience it is optional. And more importantly, the outcome is by choice, whether you're going to end up being healthy with money or unhealthy with no money. Okay, it's always by choice. It is whatever your choices right now that's going to lead you to that. All right, so this is so important for you to make that decision. Hopefully today we can do something that can lead us towards the outcome of having the healthy and with money. So just remember this before I move into the formula part, how to use the tactics. You must first understand everything that we want, the entire life of ours is either made up of energy and time. We don't run out of time actually, because we think, oh, I'm running out of time, I'll die someday and all that. Well, listen, time is going to continue whether you are here or not. The difference is you run out of energy. The more every single day, some parts of your energy will be lesser. Some parts of your energy will reduce. And by the time you finish it all, that's the end of our lives, okay? So it's made up of time and energy. And the way we do that is to look at universe, heaven, earth, and man. That's metaphysics language for you. What we're looking at is this. Universe is basically life force. When our life force is strong, we attract opportunities, we see opportunities, we see possibilities. We are happier, we are more vibrant in life. We are energetic, even MCO, no MCO at home, we're going to do something, right? If our energy is low and gloomy, we're going to be naturally pessimistic. We'll always be, this economy, when will the virus disappear? When? They ask questions like that. People who ask questions like that is basically thinking that all this problem is caused onto them only because they are in a bad time, okay? But really, they didn't realize that they can actually do something about it. There's so many people that I know who are the A players. They are already doing so much. They learn new skill. They started a new line of business. They are doing, hiring people right now. They are doing a lot, right? So they pivoted. They changed the entire direction of their business. They included, they're selling something new. They developed new apps, for example. They find a way, right? So because energetically they're there, right? They have the energy to make a difference. So this energy is internal, all right? If we can just tap to this energy, we also will be inspired. That's the biggest difference, all right? So the thing is, when we look at heaven luck, we are basically talking about our mind, right? What goes in the conversation inside here? Because most of the time, if we keep thinking that the people are not spending, people don't have the money, that is just the conversation goes in here. At any one point in time, there will be people spending, there will also be people buying. That's the question is, where are we looking at one point in time? And of course, Earth represents emotions, how we feel about something. Sometimes, the thing is, we don't feel like we're doing anything. We don't feel like doing something. We wait, we listen to our feeling. Like that, sure, you'll have a problem there. Because sometimes you don't feel like doing something, then you don't do it. That's the problem. We cannot let our feelings get in the way of what we want. So whether we feel like it or not, we also have to do something. That is how we control our feelings. And by the way, happiness is in this category. Okay. So a lot of times you say, I'm not unhappy, I'm unhappy. But don't allow unhappiness to block you from getting to where you want. If you can just push that aside, metaphysics is all about that. Knowing how to control this and turning that into something that can help you move forward. And lastly, the physical body. The physical body is this. If your body stops listening to you, that's when it starts to put on a lot of weight. It starts to get sick. It starts to have problems, get cancer, get all these things because your body refuses to listen to you anymore. When your body listens to you, you say heal, you say performance, they will be able to be, your body will want to cooperate and they will live longer, they'll be healthier. The moment your body starts to not cooperate with you, it will get tired all the time. It will have all this pain, it will have all these issues. So we got to, listen, these are the things that we are born with. And we are not in control, then who is in control? That's the thing. You may think, no, somebody else is controlling. Somebody up there is keeping tab of my karma. Nobody up there is keeping check how many of your karma. Your karma is just basically your actions that created the results. So how do we actually change some of this? Well, we have to go inwards instead of going outside. We got to go inwards into affecting our energy so that our energy changes and subsequently changes our lives inwardly, and externally, our lives will also transform. Okay, so I want to show you how we can use the external in our home. And in this home, the energy that we can use in the certain area that will send positive energy into where we are, and then we take the right action and then get the right outcome. Okay, so I'm going to show you a way. These are tactical by nature. They are tactical. Of course, it requires the first step from you. If you have a mindset that, he's not going to work one, or you emotionally, maybe it doesn't work, it doesn't feel right. If you have all this thing that is against you, none of this feng shui will help, because internally, you are already screwed, okay? The coronavirus didn't kill you. You killed you, okay? So if you want to do something different, you got to first say, whatever you think, put aside. Whatever you feel, put aside first. You're going to take action to make some of these energy work for you and subsequently get the outcome that you desire. All right, so this is very, very important that we get to the outcome that we want to be. So this is how we're going to start. Now, you take a picture of this first. You can screen capture this, or you can take note of this, because this represents the 8 specific areas in your home, okay? This represents the 8 different areas that are in your home that you will be using to help you get from one stage to the other. So we're going to get you from the struggling stage to survival, and survival to thriving. Whichever stage that you are, we're going to deploy one of these techniques. We're not going to use every single area of this house. We're going to use just 1 or 2 areas to get you to the point where you could thrive in crisis. So let's talk about thriving in this crisis. What should we be doing? Okay, so here are the steps. Let's talk about first thing, yeah? The first thing is you got to have a job. If you are, of course, if you are working for other people, that is, and or at least keep your current job, or at least keep your current source of income. This is important. A lot of times people talk about, oh, you know, I want to go to invest because this market now is going to do well. You know, I'm going to buy cheap stuff. These are for people who are in the thriving stage to talk. If you're not at the thriving stage, you don't have that comfortable reserves. If you don't have the comfortable reserves yet, your first job is to get that comfortable reserves. You got to get the reserves because coming soon, you will need it, okay? I know you may be thinking, no, I'm just going to keep trying to buy, you know, make a lot of investments, go to the stock market and all that. Listen, you don't do that. If you can't make money with $1,000, you're not going to make money with 10,000. You're not going to make money with 100,000. It doesn't mean the amount changes the fact that you're not very good at investing, okay? So the first thing to do is secure the job. So I'm going to talk about a certain type of elements energy-wise to help you make sure that you are secure in your job and that at least you have the source of income coming in. When you have that and you plan financially, you stabilize yourself with the excess, we can talk about growing it through either normal feng shui, normal investment means, or maybe even using feng shui, but that's the first step. Suppose you don't even have this in the first place, then it's going to be a little bit of a problem, don't you think so? Because then you get further deeper into the struggling stage, all right? So the next thing you may think about to increase your wealth, increase your income, that is to do what? That is to have side gigs. Now, side gigs basically means that you have a side income. You have MCO and CMCO. This is so important that you are able to find a secondary source of income based on whatever skill set or whatever things that you know right now. This is so important, right? That now people think, no, I'm just going to do one job. Well, then you have 9 to 5. What about 5 to 9? Now, this is the time. This is the time right now. It'll be so good. In a recession, it's great to have cash. Cash is king when times are bad, okay? So if you could just increase that, you will be at a place where you could do a lot more. You can invest. You can basically, you know, this is a buyer's market. It's a buyer's market, but for a real buyer, okay? So you got to have a tool, at least a side income. I'll talk about how you can get there using feng shui, but this is the second stage. But the first one you must secure is this. The second one is side gig. Then the third, of course, the third is a new skill. This is very, very important because if you have the old set of skills, this old set of skills cannot produce new income or new revenues for you unless you know something that is applicable for this current crisis that is applicable for this current period of time, it's going to be very difficult for you to increase your income if you know exactly the same thing. What works in the past is not going to work right now. For example, right now, for those who want to thrive online, for example, if you want to make money online, one of the skills is copywriting. One of the skills is the ability to actually write scripts. The ability to, another one is we speak in front of a camera. Now you say, I don't know how. Learn how lah. You're not dead, right? Not. So you have to activate a new skill. You must. You may say, I've been too old. You're too old, but you're not dead. You can learn it. There's things that you must acquire. Okay. So this is new skill. And then the fourth thing you might want to consider is investing in or starting a business or side business. This is important. Now, only after these three, we can talk about having a business on the side or even jumping into starting something new. Now you say, but this is not a good time to start. In good times, everybody will be starting. In times like this, only you will be starting. It's less competition. So if you do this well, if you have all this secured, starting a business is not a problem right now. A lot of great businesses started during times of financial difficulties. Okay. And lastly, we're going to talk about investment opportunities. And it runs from here all the way to here in a specific order. If we are having problems keeping our job, no point talking about investment opportunities. Okay. For those of you who are already in the stage where you have a new skill set, you're running a pretty good business, then of course you should be talking about investment opportunities. So you sometimes ask, should I buy a house now or not? Well, if you are already here, of course you should buy. When else you want to buy? When the market is really good and the prices are high? Come on, right? It doesn't make sense for people to buy high and sell low, correct? Now is a time where the prices are very reasonable, and if you have excess cash, of course you are here, you're in a thriving stage. This is the right time because you can choose. You have choices. Suppose you're struggling, you're half dead, then don't go and buy something. Then you force yourself to go in further into a lot of pressure right now. So you got to get out of that stage first. So here's the thing. What should you be doing? Well, we're going to look at the flying star. These are the stars from the feng shui chart that I asked you to plot earlier on, that I asked you to copy earlier on. So this is very, very simple. You remember the numbers here. If you want to talk about job security, okay, so on your screen right now, you can screen capture this on your own. If you want to talk, we are talking about job security, look for star 6, and star 6 is actually in the southeast area. I'll tell you exactly how to do that. Just take note of this. Look for star 6 and use star 6. I'll tell you how to use it, but first you must know it's star 6. And for those of you who want to start something on the side, you don't want to quit your job, but you want something on the side to be supplementing your income, basically make a bit more money through the extra time that you have, because nowadays we have a lot of extra time. So we can talk about activating star 8. I'll tell you how to activate shortly, but this is how you're going to do it, okay? And of course, if you're talking about, let's learn new skill, right? I want to acquire a new strategy, new technique, new tool. I want to be using it to make more money, okay? I want to learn how to invest. I want to learn how to, buy the best property and so forth. Then, of course, you want to activate a new skill. That will be star 4. Now, here's the thing. In this economy right now, in this gig economy right now, learning digital marketing is a big thing, right? Knowing how to digital market. A lot of people talk about digital marketing, but they don't really know how to do it. So especially big corporations, they hire a lot of people to do it. And I just see people just putting up ads. There's a lot of things behind digital marketing, like understanding how Facebook ads, tracking the stats, understanding what the stats say, knowing exactly what to do, what to advertise, buying the right keywords, for example. It's a whole new thing, but learnable, okay? A lot of people don't know that. So they waste a lot of money trying to dump it. Oh, digital marketer, let's do it for me. And then nothing happens, okay? I've seen a lot of people waste money like this. And the corporations don't know because they hire a bunch of people who don't know this as well. That's a market for you. Learn that skill. Right now, the people who really knows about digital marketing can help a lot of corporations, especially corporations who can't transit online, if they know how, okay? How about digital project management? This is another thing that you can learn. You know, this whole thing, being able to connect people from the offline to the online and manage different types of different skill set, different people, groups of people working on one project. It's a project management thing, but digitally run. And it's another whole avenue. A lot of old type of business model needs these people to integrate them together, okay? So this is one of them. How about social media marketing, right? Social media marketing is huge. It's huge. But a lot of people don't know how to do that. So what they do is that they hire some so-called influencers, pay them $50 and post something. That is the most stupidest thing ever, okay? The problem is people don't know what is a real influencer, what is a fake influencer, and someone who just takes pictures of their bodies and all that. So people don't know that, right? So they think, social media, I pay for them. No, there's a way to do that. You got to learn this. I know, but we're too old to learn that. You're never too old. It's a question of whether you know how to access them. Oh, by the way, you got to activate star 4. Star 4 will give you the ability to acquire said knowledge. When you acquire it, you know how to run social media marketing effectively. You got that? How about storyboard writing, all right? Script writing. You think you can just do something without having a proper idea of how to write the entire script? This is another talent, right? There's so many of these aspects that people don't know about. And if you want to enhance that ability to learn this, go ahead and enhance star 4, which is in Southwest, by the way. Starting a business. Now, some people want to say, okay, I'm right. I already have the new skill set. I know exactly what I do. I want to open a new social media company. I want to open a branding agency, whatever it is. You want to start something new. Try and activate star 1, okay? Star 1 is in the Northeast sector. I'll tell you how to activate shortly, but remember that. Okay, this is important. Starting something new, you need resources. You need resources. No matter how smart you are, you need resources to connect the right people, the right team. And nowadays, we don't want to just hire a bunch of people. We want to be able to contract them to do jobs so that you don't have to keep paying the salary, especially in difficult times like this. So you want to use star 1 because you attract the right type of other solopreneurs or other freelancers to assist you, and then you are able to get the right resources to move your company ahead with the least amount of resources with maximum gains, okay? And lastly, star 9 is investment opportunities. Only if you have all this, then you can talk about what opportunities are there. Because no point trying to activate all the opportunities and then you cannot buy no money or no money to survive, borrow money, bank don't lend you. That's not see, a lot of people just go, I want to activate investment opportunities. For what? You first got to survive first, right? So the thing is very important to know which stage we are in. Okay, if we are in the wrong stage, we cannot just activate the feng shui to make it work. Feng shui is like taking medication. It has to fit to your current status or current position where you are. Deploying feng shui on a blind scale, like just apply it, is disastrous. Especially right now, we got to change the strategy to tactical feng shui. Tactical means fix the now instead of looking at long term. Because right now, people are in the whole world is in sort of a state of emergency right now. Okay, so here's the thing, right? This is the style again. So we know southeast here. This is the sector. We talk about sustaining our career. Southwest to learn something new, west to investment opportunities, northeast is to start a new business, northwest is to help us with a side income or side gig. Let me show you how it works, okay? So let's say now this is the floor plan of a house. By the way, this is the 25/7 in Kota Kemuning, one of the floor plans. It's very easy. You take the a chart, a sort of a north, south, east, west compass and just go over your house like that. This is called superimposing the compass into your house. So here, guys, it's really, really simple. All you have to do is stand in the middle of your house, and take your phone. Your phone has a compass, right? Your phone has a compass and it will align to north, south, east, west on its own. Some of you are asking, should I face the window? Should I face the door? Should I face the kitchen? It's irrelevant because the compass will turn on its own and the whole north, south, east, west direction will align by itself. Okay. So once you know all the directions, now you go and see if you want to be, let's say now you're interested only, I just want to secure my job because it's a bit iffy and shaky. Then what to do? You look for the southeast area. So the southeast is right here. Okay. So you can activate the area. You can use water element. The easiest way to enhance the energy in the area in feng shui is to use water. Water is really cheap, okay? You don't have to spend huge amounts to go and buy an arowana koi pond or stuff like that. You don't need to. A bucket of water, big, deep enough, as long as the water is moving a little bit, and you just trigger the energy here. Or if you use this area a bit more, you have a seat here or you have a television, you're watching. Of course, this is not very convenient because it's the main door area, but if your kitchen, you're cooking there every day, you have your those tools, the cooking tools, the what you call the rice cooker. It sort of activates it on its own. Okay, so you are using it strategically for the purpose of activating star 6, which helps you with your job. Okay, so this is one way to do it. So basically, we just put the numbers over the property just like that. It's fairly simple. it's not that hard to do. You look for the area that you want. Let's just say now that you are interested in a side gig. Okay, let's say you are now interested in starting a business on your own. All right, so you're okay. So how do I start a business on my own? You need the assistance, you need the ideas, you need to be able to have the courage, the drive to do it. That will be in the master bedroom right now. It's star 8. Okay, so here you set up a table, you put your laptop, your desktop, your working stuff in that area, and you start working on the idea. Okay, now you say, how do I work on an idea? Well, search online lah. Right? There are so many success magazine, entrepreneur magazine, read, because you see, ideas don't just suddenly wake up, oh, idea came to me. Not like that, you know. You got to read something, watch something, and then get inspired. And from the inspiration, you sort of get an idea what to do. And over a little bit of time, a little bit of your effort and research, it becomes a process, a tool for you to be able to generate the money. Okay, so it's not like one day you say, oh, suddenly I got idea can make money. It's not like that. Yeah, that's not how feng shui works. It will inspire you, maybe through a conversation with somebody, maybe you talk to somebody, maybe you read a book, but you're going to get it here. So spend 1 hour a day. If you're going to start a business, side gig, be there and look at what you can do, what you want to do, and then do a bit more of research, do a bit more of, studies. Okay, you will get there, right? Or maybe you say, no, I want to start my business now. I need to find the right partners. I want to be able to see whether I can hire the right people. Then the area is northeast. Okay, because star 1 is there, we look for northeast. Go over this side, make phone calls. Okay, I mean, don't call your friends, because if your friends were any good, you'll be using them from start. We'll go make phone calls with different potential business partners out there, people you saw in a network, right? Run some ideas together. Hey, I got this brilliant idea. What do you think? I need a chance of working together. Sometimes it's just like that, okay? So when you just join to and make an effort to do it in the correct area, 1 hour a day, you are using the type of feng shui that will assist you in the outcome. So at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, right? At the end of the day, you ask yourself which one of these you want. And here, I know what you're saying. I do all lah. Do all is okay, ma. You cannot do all. Okay, you cannot do all, because you want to be here to. You got to choose one at a time, because a lot of times people think if they do all, they will just get hit one. This is not hedge your bets. You choose one, or maximum 2. Okay, I will if I'm in a struggling stage, I will go for maybe the first 2, job and side gig. If you are the survival stage, I can look at this 2. If I'm a thriving stage, I'm gonna look at this 2. Okay, and it depends on which stage you are in, and then which star you want to activate. It depends on you. So you got to be very honest with yourself. Which one do you want to pick? Okay, so really, superimposing over the house is very simple. You find the area that you want to use and spend an hour there working on one of those aspects. That's about it. Okay, you work on those aspects, you will get the outcome. Now you say, but how fast will I get the outcome, right? How fast? Well, that depends on what you're doing and also what is your target. Okay, you have clarity of what the end result, the end game is easier to start something. Most people don't know what they want. They're just dabbling. Okay, becoming a person of substance, you need to have mastery, not dabble. If you dabble with something, you're not going to get very far, because in this economy, they're going to wipe out the weak players. Unfortunately, this is not my doing. It's just that, Mother Nature has its way of, refreshing a lot of things. Right now, during the MCO, right? I mean, after the MCO, prior to that, the world is healing itself. And this gap, as you will see in the next couple of years, every time after the Great Depression, and by the way, this recession is similar to Great Depression, you will find that the gap between the rich and the poor is bigger, okay? Because the rich, a lot of them knows what to do. So one of the ways to help yourself, to help the poor even, is not to become one of them, okay? So it's to get to a place where it's comfortable and thriving for you. So these 5 steps are stepping stones to get there, okay? So basically all this is the same. I'm just giving you an example of how it is. This is the 3-story Aria link houses. So you superimpose and you find the area now. You may say, can I do it downstairs, or do I need to do it upstairs, right? Which one will be better for me? You can do the same chart upstairs or downstairs, but between up and down, the downstairs is a bit more effective than the upstairs, because that's where the chi comes in first. But nevertheless, a lot of people will still use the upstairs floor anyway, okay? So choose whichever one that is great for you, and you use the one that you want to achieve. So out of one, the side gig, starting a business, learning a new skill, which one is good for you, okay? For me, I use learning a new skill as the thing, because I don't need to start a new business. I already have a new business. I want to have more skill sets. The more skill sets that I have, I know my income, my revenue will increase more because I know what to do. It's important. So that's the safest element to use, learning something. If you can learn something, you acquire new skills that is relevant to this current economy, you're going to be able to thrive. This is why it is so important. Okay. So I'm going to skip all this and go to the end of this section, right? The Q&A, right? So now, if you have questions, go ahead and post it here. I will try my best to answer as many as possible. Right? We have almost 1,000 people right now. So go ahead and ask the questions. Now, it's important that you understand that the opportunities are for those who are prepared. Okay, if you're not prepared and you don't have the capacity to do it, I suggest you first secure yourself first, ensure that you are stable, and then we can talk about thriving. Okay, so Liu Ken Guan is asking, do we need external chi to make it effective? The answer is yes, if we're talking about long term, Liu Ken Guan. If we are talking about long term, right now we are talking short term. Because we are in a crisis position, therefore we need to look at whatever works tactically. So using the chi internally is better than waiting for the outside to take effect. Okay. So Pichada Fat is talking. Learn new skills should sit in which direction? Southwest, in the southwest area. Okay, southwest area. That's the sector. All right. Alan Smith is asking, do we need to select time to activate it? No, we don't have the time to select it. I'll give you 1 or 2 dates later on, and we can try and use that. But sometimes people cannot wait that long. So we're going to just look at the possible, whenever you can use it, start using it immediately. Okay. What if my house is missing an area? Thaddeus Zhang is saying that. Okay. Thaddeus Zhang is saying, what if my house is missing the area? So don't use the missing area. Why are you going to sit outside the house for what? Right? Use the area that is inside your house. Whichever number is inside the house that you can use. Okay. So basically, it's like this. If you don't have hair, you cannot perm hair, right? So if you have missing the southwest sector, you obviously cannot use it. So use the area that is not missing. Okay. So let's see what are the questions here. If the sector won't use missing, okay, you answered that already. Vincent is saying, what do you mean if a number and I will need to put a pot of water? You don't put a pot of water all the time. You put yourself, Vincent, which area that you want to use, that you want, not which area of the effects that you want. Do you want to learn new skill? Do you want to have a side gig? Or do you want to secure a job? Choose one, be in there, spend an hour of time contemplating and working on that area. 1 hour a day. That's called an hour of power, by the way. Okay. How to activate the *6 to getting a new job ASAP? You can't. The *6 doesn't get you a job. It only secures your current job. Okay. And Jason is saying, hold on, the questions are moving too fast. Let me just say, Jason Rampun is saying, if I just started a business just this year that is still in infancy, do I activate the starting new business sector? No, you activate Southwest because you need new skills. Right now, all business leaders, all business owners need to learn new skills because this new economy right now dictates that the direction of business has changed from face-to-face to digital. Okay, a lot of them. Now you may say, no, I'm doing retail business. Even retail, what I foresee in the long run is a lot of people have smaller shops, more shops, but smaller shops, and then people see and then they will do something online, buy it, and then they send to their house. They're moving towards that direction, okay? Because nowadays, because people just found out how easy it is to communicate and talk to one another. Look at this. We are having about 1,000 people here tonight. Usually my talks for corporates is about 100 people. Now we are talking 10 times more the number just because we are talking online. All right. So things are already different, and this trend is going to continue because everyone wants to do it online from their pajamas right at home. Okay. So things are already different. All right. So let's see here. If I need to get new clients for a new real estate business, where should I be staying? What do you think you need? You need new skills. The same old sales skills doesn't work for the old real estate business, okay? Because things have changed. The way we see a house, the way they get connected, the sales strategy is different. The story that they tell is different. The way they write their sales script has changed. You got to change as well. So I would say always go for star form, okay? So if you have no job, again, learn new skill. Oh my God, no job. Learn new skill. That's because your old skills are irrelevant. Learn something new so that you can get the new jobs. There are a lot of people hiring out there. Tech companies are hiring. Online companies are still hiring. I believe the online shopping companies are still hiring. A lot of digital companies, digital marketers. Heck, they are looking for people. You just don't have the right skill. Well, activate the right skill and go for it, right? Digital marketing, for example, is a big avenue here in Malaysia. A lot of people don't know how to do. So most people dabble with it. Experts, very few. Okay. So here's the thing. Is it a good time to deliver this? I don't know. You tell me, right? You see, the thing is, delivery has always been around, all right? The Grab has done delivery, has Deliveroo's been doing delivery, Food Panda does delivery. The question is, who knows how to connect better with the customers? Who knows how to make it a better experience for their customers? If you can do that, you learn the skill to do that. You have the right people, you have the right tools, you have the right resources. You can do this better than other people. So it depends on which stage you're in, depending on this. It's not about just time. Just because you start the damn business is not going to make you successful. You need to have the right drive. You need to have the right people. You got to have the right, skill set to move it to the next level. Okay. Okay, let's just see here. Yeah. Let's see. If I want to excel in the current, there's Eddie Tan. If I want to excel in the current job and I complete more projects, where should I activate? *6, Eddie Tan. *6 is what you need. Okay. *6 is what you need. So Hui Hun Po is asking, can I sit *4 sector if Southwest also my personal life threatening? Of course you can, because we're talking about short term. See, there you go. You're talking about strategy. Life threatening is going to affect you 20 years from now. You need to save yourself this next 6 months. Use it now. Don't worry about the life threatening. That's 20 years from now. Okay. Short term and long term. You must know. Now is a time of what? You're in sinking Titanic. First, learn how to swim. You're trying to say, give me a pink float first before I want to use the float. Right? Cannot like that. Use first, survive, then talk about driving. Okay? All right. So, when is a good time? Depends on how rich you are, Frankie. Okay? If you got cash, now is a good time. All right? So, people always say, when is a good time? I hit rock bottom. There's no rock bottom. There are different areas, different folks can do different things. If you have no cash, don't invest. Why are you investing when you have no cash? If you have cash, then buy lah. This is a buyer's market, right? Not okay. All right. So let's see here. All right, cool. Well, my main door sector is a *2. Is it not good for the year? Depends on good for what. Okay. So you see, not good is a general statement. It has to be good for something. It has to be good for some form of activities. So the question is, what activities are you doing? Right. So if you're in the right activity, maybe especially in healthcare, it would be great to be using. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so good. I think we've answered quite a lot of questions here. And I'm going to give you a couple of dates for wealth, just the 3 dates for wealth here. Okay. All right, just a couple of dates here. All right, the first date, if you want to use, is 2nd of June. This is for those who know how to do it. Most of you don't know what to do with these dates because you have not done my classes before. So, this is for June 2nd. This is a request from the developers here. The organizers want me to give out some dates, so I'm going to give out some dates. This is for those who know how to use it. It's on June 2nd, 3 to 5 p.m. You can position water in the Northwest for a maximum of 2 weeks to enhance the wealth energies, to give you a bit more opportunities to start a side gig in this period of time. Okay, this is Northwest, 3 to 5 p.m. June the 2nd. You can't use it if you are born in the horse year. Okay, so now this is June 22nd. The next one is at 3 to 5 p.m. again, and you can activate the Southwest sector this time with water element. You place it for 2 weeks to trigger and only 2 weeks. Then you can take the water away. It will trigger your ability to acquire a money-making skill, but you have to go and learn. Yeah, you put water, then you look at the water. Nothing will happen, okay? You need to put the water first at this time. Then you go and study, okay? Like study like a new skill, right? Then you do that, then you acquire, you find that you can study 3 times better than before, and the skill that you learn will be useful for you, okay? This is important. And lastly, this is the 23rd of June, 3 to 5 p.m. This time we can talk about the South. This time we do the South. Now, just now I was asking for the person that says South door, star number 2. This is for you specifically. You can turn a negative situation into a positive situation. This is only a short period of time if you do this water in the South, but it's not for long term. Don't put it for too long, okay? All right. So that's it. So this is the 3 specific dates that you could use. Can I have back the screen, please? Yeah, okay. So if you have any more questions, let's take a few more before we pass this back to the organizers. Okay, where do I put the water? Anywhere in that area. How much water do I put? A pail of water. A pail, okay? So 2 weeks only. I wish to learn a new skill. I stay in a Singapore HDB flat. I need your advice. Well, use the Southwest area. Study a new skill. It can be an investing skill. It can be, an online education. Nowadays, everyone learning online. E-education. Online education is a big business now thriving. Okay. Harriet Thomas asking, can the water be in a flower vase? No, cannot. It has to be an actual pail. Just use it for a period of time. Now, listen, if you don't have water, place you. You are the best feng shui conductor because you are the one benefiting from the feng shui, not the water. The water only enhances the Wi-Fi. I just imagine it's a Wi-Fi, enhances the energy so that you are somewhere else, you're able to use the, benefit from the energy flow. But the best way is you're in that area and you're actually doing the work there, you get to benefit it directly. Using water is because you are too lazy to get in there. Maybe it's not convenient to be in that place. Okay. All right. So I hope you have enjoyed this session with me. I want to give out a shout out. Thanks to Gamuda 25/7 Corporate Communing for sponsoring this event. I hope you guys have enjoyed our time together. Thank you so much. And please go ahead and post your questions here, and maybe we can get connected with Gamudaland, and they'll do their best to connect with you very shortly. Thank you so much. Thank you.